When Cirrus Aircraft delivered the first Vision Jet in 2016, the light jet market responded with polite skepticism. A single-engine jet with a whole aircraft parachute, marketed to pilots who had never flown jets before? The consensus was that it was an interesting experiment with a limited ceiling. In 2026, that consensus looks precisely wrong. The SF50 G3 is not just the best-selling personal jet in the world. It is the aircraft that has redefined what the light jet category is allowed to be, who is allowed to fly it, and what the rest of the market now has to compete against. And its competitive implications extend far beyond the VLJ segment.
For decades, the light jet market operated on a set of foundational assumptions. Jet aircraft require 2 pilots, or an exceptionally experienced single pilot. Jet ownership demands institutional infrastructure, and the operational complexity of jet propulsion is a permanent barrier to entry that justifies premium pricing. Cirrus challenged all 3 simultaneously. The SF50 was designed from the outset around single-pilot operations. Its Garmin Perspective Touch Plus avionics system is not a cockpit for managing complexity. It is a cockpit designed to reduce it. The Autoland system, introduced in the G2 Plus and refined in the G3, can bring the aircraft to a full stop on a runway without pilot input. It is the first certified single-engine jet in FAA history. It carries the Cirrus airframe parachute system, and it is marketed successfully to pilots transitioning directly from piston aircraft. The G3, delivered in volume from 2023 onward, refined the platform with improved range, enhanced cabin pressurization differential, and a revised power plant configuration that addressed the early reliability questions surrounding the Williams FJ33 engine. The result is an aircraft that the market now treats as a mature, proven product, not a bold experiment.
The SF50 G3 is priced at approximately $2.98 million new in 2026. In the context of the VLJ and light jet market, that is aggressive. The aircraft it most directly competes with, the Honda HA420 Honda Jet Elite 2, lists at approximately $7 million. The next step up the Cessna Citation ladder begins at $4.5 million for the Citation M2 Gen 2. For that $2.98 million, a buyer receives a cabin pressurized to a differential of 6.9 psi, a maximum operating altitude of 31,000 feet, a range of approximately 1,200 nautical miles with 4 occupants, and a cruise speed of 305 knots true airspeed at altitude. The cabin seats 5 passengers plus the pilot in a pod and boom fuselage configuration that Cirrus optimized specifically for single-pilot operation, with the pilot seating position integrated into the cabin rather than isolated behind a bulkhead.
The G3's safety architecture is its most disruptive feature. The CAPS parachute system has been deployed in real-world emergencies and has a documented record of saving lives. No other certified jet offers a comparable system. For a buyer evaluating risk, not just performance, the G3 presents an argument that no competitor can match with specifications alone. The Autoland system adds a second dimension. It is not a theoretical feature. It is a certificated, deployable emergency system that has changed how insurers evaluate SF50 policies. The aircraft's insurance market in 2026 is significantly more mature and more competitively priced than it was at introduction, a direct consequence of the G3's safety features and the real-world incident record of the platform.
The competitive damage from the SF50 G3 is not evenly distributed, and at the lower end of the twin-engine light jet market, the pressure is severe. Aircraft like the Cessna Citation M2 and the Embraer Phenom 100EX cost more, demand higher pilot qualification, and are now being compared directly to an aircraft that is cheaper and easier to operate. Honda has tried to defend its position through cabin volume, speed, and brand prestige. The Honda Jet Elite 2 does outperform the SF50 on paper, but at more than twice the price, and with a longer, more demanding type rating and currency burden. That trade-off no longer persuades most owner pilots. The manufacturers most at risk are those without a differentiator strong enough to justify the price gap. Cirrus understood this early and built not just an aircraft, but an ecosystem competitors still can't replicate.
The SF50 G3's sales data tells the decisive story. Cirrus has been the largest manufacturer of personal jets by unit volume for multiple consecutive years. Used G1 and G2 aircraft retain value at a rate that competes favorably with most aircraft in the $1 million to $3 million range. The training pipeline Cirrus has established through the Cirrus Standardized Instructor Program means that the path from piston aircraft to SF50 left seat is more clearly defined than any other jet transition in the market. For the buyer, typically a high-income professional with 500 to 1,500 hours of piston experience who wants to own and fly their own aircraft, the SF50 G3 answers the three questions that matter most. Can I fly it safely? The parachute and Autoland say yes. Can I afford to own it over time? The operating economics say yes relative to competing jets. And will it hold its value? The resale market says yes, with more confidence than most alternatives at this price point. Those three answers, delivered convincingly, are why the SF50 G3 is not just selling well. It is restructuring the demand curve for personal jet ownership and compressing the market space available to aircraft that cannot answer the same three questions with equal clarity. The SF50 G3 is not killing the jet market through disruption for its own sake. It is killing specific competitors by being genuinely better than them at the specific mission for which the majority of personal jet buyers actually purchase aircraft: owner-flown, single-pilot, short to medium stage operations with a safety architecture that reduces the consequence of in-flight emergencies. That is a focused and honest value proposition. It is also one that the rest of the industry has struggled to answer for nearly a decade. If you are evaluating a personal jet purchase in 2026, the SF50 G3 is not one option among many. It is the benchmark against which every other aircraft in the sub-$5 million category must now be measured: on safety, on operating economics, on pilot workload, and on total cost of ownership. Most competitors measure unfavorably on at least two of those four criteria. That is not marketing. That is the accumulated result of a decade of real-world operations, a fleet that now numbers in the hundreds of aircraft, and a manufacturer that correctly identified what its customers actually needed and built it. In aviation, that is rare. In 2026, it is consequential.